We've got properties across Australia, apart from Northern Territory, Tasmania and ACT.
As Victor Kumar drives the streets of southwest Sydney, he points out the homes he's accumulated, the houses he's built, and his plans for development.
We're going to knock this house down and put 5 townhouses here.
In all, he owns more than 100 rentals and is building 30 more. He also runs a business telling people how they too can build their own portfolios.
It was hard slog in the initial stages. We sacrificed a lot. We started our family late. We didn't have much of a social life.
Data obtained under Freedom of Information shows he's one of more than 2,500 people who own 10 or more rental properties in Australia. 172 of this elite group own 20 or more properties. These mega investors own or part own over 33,200 rentals between them, roughly equivalent to the number of dwellings in the Melbourne suburbs of Richmond and South Yarra combined, or the Waverley Council area in Sydney's east. The data also shows the landlords with 20 or more properties are losing the most money on them and are benefiting the most from negative gearing.
Really highlights just how skewed the whole tax arrangement is and how much it really benefits those big investors rather than what we stereotypically hear about, oh no, it's good for mums and dads. We've got a system that is actually assisting people more to buy their 10th property than their first.
Investor Margaret Lomas, who owns more than 20 properties, agreed the system was unfair, but says criticism of larger investors is unwarranted.
The motivations behind many property investors isn't to create grand wealth for themselves. It's often to help their own families.
Several economists say limiting negative gearing for people who own multiple properties could dampen house prices. For instance, the ATO data also shows that while only 10% of investors own 3 or more properties, they hold 25% of Australia's rental stock.
Even if we were able to curtail these large number of investors, that would have a really strong dampening effect on the overall housing market.
But Mr. Kumar doesn't believe targeting big investors like him would have a long-term impact on prices.
Ultimately, it's supply and demand, and we simply don't have enough supply.
Despite speculation about the government's position, both the Labour and Liberal parties say they have no plans to change their policies on property tax concessions ahead of the next election. Geraden, Cann, ABC News.